Hi there. Weird times we're having. Stuck at home, a little bit bored, maybe going a little stir crazy. Perhaps it's time for a glass of wine. I think you're ready for a glass of wine. Let's check one out together. This is the Caldierosso, red blend from Benvenuti winery. They're in Istria, a little peninsula on the northern coast of Croatia. Yes, I said Croatia. Yes, they make wine in Croatia. Croatia is obviously very close to Italy. It's got a history of winemaking that goes back just as far in time, similar varietals, similar terroir. Where it differs from Italy is that Italy's been playing the big business game of winemaking for a long time, and the styles have evolved. They've evolved to sell better in the US, to us quarantined Americans, get better press, better scores, things like that. Croatia, on the other hand, still makes wines mostly for Croatians. They export very, very little. So the wines are in a sense sort of trapped in time, very honestly old world style winemaking, where you make wines for your community, wines that are made to pair with the foods that are grown and produced in your local regions. Caldierosso is a little bit of a different story though. Benvenuti mainly likes to focus on their native grapes, which for white is Malvasia, and for reds is a grape called Teran. But since most people aren't familiar with those grapes outside of Croatia, they wanted to make something that blended in some international varietals to show what Croatian terroir is really capable of. So the Caldierosso is made out of equal parts that indigenous grape of Teran, and then Nebbiolo, Tempranillo, and Merlot. One of the things I think is really cool about that is that you have four grapes that come from very different growing climates. You have a warm climate grape in the Tempranillo, a cooler climate grape in the Nebbiolo, and the Bordeaux varietal of Merlot. And they all come together here, planted in northern Croatia, just beautifully, making a wine that's just perfectly, perfectly balanced. Let's take a look here. Every time I put my nose into a glass of the Caldierosso, all I can think about is just really old school Italian winemaking. You get a little bit of like an earthy, funky character on the nose, but there's some spices in there as well. Big tart fruit component on the palate. Tart dry fruit, think like currants or something like that. But those spices continue. A little fresh cracked black pepper, a little bit of clove. Teran is a very herbaceous or a spicy varietal, and that really shows through here. Really, though, this wine is all about structure. It's a little bit tough for me to talk right now. All this acidity is really making my mouth water, and there's these sort of very fine but persistent, prominent tannins that just kind of coat your entire palate. And that structure means that this wine is all about food. It's dying to be with food. In terms of pairings, I think you could think of this as you might think of a lot of Italian wines, compared to like a Chianti maybe. So it's going to go great with something as simple as a pizza or pasta with a bolognese sauce, but that structure is going to make it pretty versatile as well. I could see this going with a lot of roast meats, and even like a fattier thing, like maybe a grilled pork chop is going to be kind of delicious with this structure and that acidity in there. So again, that's the Caldierosso Red Blend 2017 vintage from Benvenuti Winery, northern coast of Croatia. I hope you check it out. I hope you enjoy it. Cheers.